Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it, it comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the post, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal team. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. Come on, guys, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it, and that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. Want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle. For Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, all one handle at the Shawn Sierra. And we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube channel, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring it all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Man, we got, woohoo. Check it out. We got a great show, man. We have a great show at, well, actually, you know what? Let's check the chat, because the chat is jumping. Woo, Charlie, the chat is jumping. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. We got here. Cornelius Squalls. Hey, happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday, Cornelius. It is your birthday today. He says, what up, Shawn Sierra sports fans. Well, today I'm celebrating my 71st trip around the sun. Wow, 71. Congratulations, Cornelius. That is impressive. You should be proud, because I know, you have some people in your life that didn't make it the 71 trips around the sun, excuse me. And believe you me, I know how precious it is. I just had 54 a week ago today, so I get it. Congratulations, Papa. Happy birthday. The Plankster is back, baby. Plank is in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, dog. Good to see you. Rashawn Walls in the house at the Mickey Ficky TGIF. It's the weekend, baby. FGB. That's right. FGB. What? FGB. Patty Lara's in the house. Good morning, Mom. Says happy Mickey Ficky TGI Friday. It is. Let me tell you. Whew. It's a rough one. It is a rough one. Aha. Good morning, Theo Shawn. FGB. Jeremiah, good morning, mijo. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know there's more of the usual suspects. We'll chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. We got, you know what, we got some, I don't want to call them creepers. We got some shy people. Just say hi. We got a lot more people that are watching that really haven't commented. Just say hey. Just say good morning. Just say good morning, man. I'd appreciate it. See who we got on the show, who likes to just sit back and watch every once in a while. You don't got to interact with us. Just say hello, good morning. You don't have to interact on a constant basis, but just say good morning. Another shirt. Yeah. We know it, baby. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. All right. Talk about that all the time. All the time, baby. All the time. At 10 o'clock, my man Glynn Morgan, Chicago Bears analyst, he's going to join us. We're going to talk all things Bears. You know, Bears have they're smack dab in the middle of camp. And this is what I was talking about on my live after my video after CrossFit this morning. People, the peoples. People are so patient. They're so meatball-y. You know what I mean? Like, stop being such meatballs, such jerks. All right, there was a lot of things that were being said about Luther Burden. Okay, a lot. And, he's in a bust. He's this, he's that. I'm tired of getting beat. We always draft people who are hurt, but blah, 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 blah. And we're like, he has a soft tissue injury. Give him a chill. Chill. And people were just we're just brutal on this guy. The guy hadn't even played it down. Guy hasn't played it down for the Chicago Bears, and you already call him a bust. Oh, he can't stay healthy. It reminds me of Kevin White, blah, 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 blah. Like, come on, people, really? Calling him a bust, calling him all kinds of names. Then he has to practice like he did yesterday, and everyone's like, oh, my God, Luther Burden is the best thing since sliced bread. Really? And I'm not gonna lie, some of the media was on it too. Luther Burden needs to get out there. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Thanks, Captain Obvious. You know, I'd appreciate you telling me something that I don't know. He's coming in hot. Rick Gonzalez checking in. He says, hola, amigos. The day after the trade deadline is always great because all the Cub fans think they're going all out and yet never make a big move. Scrubs. FGB. I can tell you what. I know a lot of Scrub fans are pissed right now. Now the Northsiders are pissed. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. You could have got Adrian Hauser. He can eat up innings, and he's pitching very, very well, but I don't know. I hear you, though, bro. I hear you, Rick. I hear you. So, yeah, it's quite interesting how crazy people are, how finicky they can get. I mean, you can't appeal the masses. You know what I mean? Like, you can't appease the masses. It's ridiculous. And It doesn't seem like the North, like, and here's the thing. I don't think Jed didn't try. All right, he's mentioned it a couple of times leading up to the deadline that they need starting pitching. And I don't know. He had to have been on the phones. I don't get it. I mean, and let's be honest, both teams. But we're talking about the Cubs right now, and we'll talk about the Sox after. But both teams kind of at the trade deadline. But the Cubs needed a legit starter, a number 1 and number 2. Didn't get it. Now they got a couple of arms for the bullpen. Excellent. That's going to be very helpful. But who are you going to pitch game 1, game 2, game 3 in a 7-game series? Shota, I presume. Who's your number 2? Who's your number 2? Who's your number 2 that you can stroll out there and be like, yeah, I feel great about this guy. We got a great chance to win. Who's that guy? Well, Rick, they got a good shot as anybody. Rick says, Shawn, even if they did get a decent picture, do you really think they would have went all the way? Because I don't, FGB. They got as good a shot as anybody, Rick. There's no clear-cut favorite this year. You know, I mean, things got to happen. Certain things have to fall into place. There's a lot of luck involved when you go that far. But they would have put themselves in the conversation. They're still in the conversation. Keep it in a buck. You're still in the conversation. It's just they're not as strong an option right now. You're just not as strong that team is just not as strong an option. Again, Michonne, I don't know. Michonne says Cubs are turning into old man Reinsdorf. I don't know if the Ricketts said put the kibosh on. I don't know what was said. I just know Jed's not going to sit there idle when he knows what they need. I can almost assume he was on the phones. People says the Cubs are just trying to make the playoffs and not spend the bank. I can see that. But why would you? It's not like this Cubs team is kind of middling, okay? If you just want to make the playoffs, cool. If you're just kind of middling, half-ass team and you can make the playoffs and keep your fans happy, I get it. Perfect. Understood. Look at the Bulls. You're not a half-ass team. You had the best record in the National League a couple of days ago. And you're, a game off the best record in the National League now? I mean, you're at the top of the National League. You're not a half-ass team. So why would you bullshit in a situation where you just can't assume there are going to be more bites at the apple? I will be there next year. You don't know. Cal Tucker might be gone. A whole bunch of other people might be gone. So when you have that type of situation, you got to go for it. You have to go for it, and they didn't. That's why Cub fans are pissed. You have a championship. You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to compete for the World Series this year, and you did nothing. You needed a frontline pitcher. Go get it. And I understand you got to give something to get something. And maybe you didn't want to give up a top prospect. Okay. But when the iron's hot is when you have to strike. There's no clear-cut favorite for the World Series. I don't care about the Dodgers. The Cubs can beat the Dodgers in a 7-game series. The Braves, the Phillies, the Mets. The Cubs can do that. It's going to be a lot more difficult without the frontline starter. But man, I get it, Cub fans. I see why you're pissed. It's a window. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. You have an opportunity this year. Go for it. I know you don't want to mortgage the future, but man, if you can go and win the World Series, fans would be okay with losing one of your top prospects. They would be. Cub fans would be. One, because they get to talk shit to Sox fans because they'll have 2 World Series in their lifetime, and us would only have 1. But beside that, isn't that the goal? To win the World Series? And you may not want to mortgage the future, but it's not like there haven't been dynasties anymore in baseball. There aren't any dynasties. Yeah, you got teams that make the playoffs consistently, but you don't have teams getting to the World Series on a consistent basis, or the NLCS. I think the Cubs blew it by not going to get a top frontline starter, or at least a number 2. People were asking for Cade Horton. Would you give him Cade Horton? I don't know. King Booker World, what's up, Papa? Thanks for tuning in. To salute everybody. Friday in this some bitch. Shawn and my brother was good. It's all good in the hood, Papa. Looking like a homeless person. Look at. Well, that's all right, because I got a party to go to. I got a boat party to go to tomorrow. So want to be fresh. King Booker World says, anyone watch that game last night? I'm going to tell you what, Lions better pray nobody significant gets hurt. I'll tell you what, listen, I'm not going to get too crazy into the game. It's a preseason game, all right? It's a preseason game. I was just happy football was on. Got me fired up, got me excited. Yeah. Rick says, how about Luther Burden? He looks good, Shawn. Yeah, he did. Steve-O says, look at you hobnobbing at all these boat parties. You got jokes, Steve-O, huh? This one, actually, my cousin rented out a boat for her birthday, which is tomorrow. And she's like, so I'm not going on like a special white party, boat party or anything like that. Tell you what, I will be smoking a cigar. That's for damn sure. I went to the cigar store last week, picked up 5 cigars. So I have a couple ready to go for tomorrow. Yeah, baby. Nope. No, Rick. Rick says, I'm sure the party's up north. No, it's not. We're going to 31st Street Pier. That's where we're going. Southside. Now we're going to go. Probably go to the playpen. Go downtown. But we're taking off from 31st Street. Southside. Patty says it's because it's summertime in the Chi. Enjoy, Shawn. I will. Thank you, Patty. But yes, I was very happy with Luther Burden. I was very happy. There's a lot of things I'm happy with. I'm going to talk to Glynn Morgan at 10 o'clock about those things that I'm happy about. Caleb's footwork looks good. Caleb being under center is good. And that's the one thing. Remember, I said it's not that difficult for him. it was not going to be that difficult for him to work on getting a ball under center. Not as many times as he's practiced in the preseason, in the offseason, in OTAs, and now in training camp. It's just muscle memory. And when you have elite athletes, they'll pick things up rather quickly. Well, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take all right, I got to get the CrossFit off the CrossFit. I got to get the Warden off the CrossFit. Okay. Now the other side of the break, we'll get to these top of the morning topics. So all right. So keep it locked right here. Don't go anywhere, folks. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
Know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know, though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so...
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
How's it going, everybody? How are you, everybody? I'm wonderful. Let's get it going. Yeah. I mean, I've played, I think, 17 games now, and those are a little bit more strenuous. And I'm not going to say more important because practice is, probably equal, but, that goes on the record. So I've had some up and downs in games myself and team-wise. And so, I think all of last year was great for us and great for me. To be able to manage, these next 6 weeks. Everybody's excited, myself included, about, the infrastructure and, how everything's been set up. I know the DB coaches and things like that are great. D-line, everybody, on the other side of the ball that you don't get to speak to and really talk too much. I try my best to get to them, but, I feel great about that side. And obviously, my side of the ball, I feel awesome.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That was the quarterback, QB1. All right, QB1, Caleb Williams. Well, let's get it crack-a-lacking, baby. Let's do it. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Good. Very nice. Betty. Very nice. Let's get it crack-a-lacking, guys. You know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's see. Let's go. Which way do we go? First top of the morning topic we have today is this. The Major League Baseball trade deadline passed yesterday, and both teams made some noise. Not as much noise as our fan base would have wanted, but they made some noise. Cubs acquired infielder Willie Castro from the Minnesota Twins, defensive specialist, really going to help out late in ball games. Okay. I know Cub fans wanted more, and I get it. But the Cubs also they acquired Taylor Rogers. Okay, reliever from Cincinnati. Good arm in that bullpen. He's going to be a huge help. For this organization. Andrew Kittredge is another pitcher they got, another reliever. They're really bolstering their bullpen. Okay, and you got Michael Soroka. Michael Soroka played with the White Sox. He's probably going to start initially, but then he'll probably go back to the bullpen. He's probably going to go back to the bullpen what's his name? When Jameson Taillon gets back. Jameson Taillon and Javier Assad, when they get back, he'll most likely go to the pen, which is fine. And here's Andrew Kittredge. All right, a right-handed pitcher from Baltimore. These are all guys who are going to be huge in that rotation for the Cubs, or in the bullpen for the Cubs, and you're going to need it. All right, you're going to need it. I'm telling you, it's imperative that you get the bullpen shored up. All right, especially because you didn't acquire a starting pitcher at the deadline. So the next best thing is to make sure that bullpen is tight. Because if you get a lead, that's the last thing you want, is to give up leads in the playoffs, in the postseason. You just don't want to do that. So the Cubs got Willie Castro, infielder, Taylor Rogers, Andrew Kittredge, and Michael Soroka. Okay. Now, the Cubs are back home. The Cubs host the Baltimore Orioles for a weekend set at Wrigley Field. First pitch tonight is at 1 today. Is at p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. The probables for today's game for Cincinnati, for the Reds, Trevor Rogers, who's 4-1 with a 1.49 ERA, going up against Cade Horton, who's 4-3 with a 3.67 ERA. Changing up, going to the south side. The White Sox, baby. The White Sox, they sent Austin Slater to the New York Yankees, and I liked him. I like this young man a lot. I don't know what the reasoning for that was. I think New York actually needs some because the judge is hurt. But yeah, that was a youngster guy I really, really, really was high on. But anyway, the White Sox travel to Anaheim for a 3-game set against the Angels. First pitch tonight is at 8:38 p.m. Central Time. The probables for tonight's game, well, they haven't figured that out yet for the White Sox. But for Anaheim, Tyler Anderson, who's 2-6 with a 4.41 ERA. Now, one of the biggest surprises. Oh, they did trade Austin Slater as well. I mean, not Austin Slater. Not Austin Slater, because they traded Austin Slater. Adrian Hauser. They did end up trading Adrian Hauser to the Tampa Bay Rays. So Tampa got him. And the biggest bargaining chip, I guess, was Lewis Robert Jr. All right, Lewis Robert Jr. was not traded. Okay, there are reports out there saying that the Sox just couldn't get the top 10 prospect from whoever inquired about Lewis Robert. The Sox wanted a top 10 prospect from whoever they were dealing with, and apparently they were unable to get their asking price. People were trying to go low. I get it. But so here's what I anticipate. The pickup is $20 million a year option for next season. Okay. And maybe trade him next year. Or just have him as a piece. You have a lot of youngsters around. Lewis Roberts probably one of the elder statesmen of this team. Maybe you can build around him. I don't know. That I don't know. But very shocking. Very, very shocking that Lewis Robert wasn't traded. King Book of World says, I hate doing business with the Yankees. Why? Because of the evil empire? I'm anxious to see. How this Sox team plays. Listen, we won 3 of 4. 3 of 4 series since the All-Star break. King Booker World says, I just hate the Yankees. Okay. You and a lot of other baseball fans. But let's just see where this young team goes. All right, this young team they've won 3 out of 4 series since the All-Star break. I can get behind winning 3 out of 4 series the rest of the way. I can get behind that. How many games are left? Let me see. 109 we played. So 53 games. 53 games. If we win at 66 2/3 clip, 3, 17, 34 more games. 34 more games. We win 34, 35 more games. Wow. Because right now we're 40 and 69. We might lose less than 100 games this year. And I'll tell you what, if the White Sox lose less than 100 games this year, What a remarkable accomplishment, turnaround in 1 year. You got to look at Will Venable as manager of the year. You've got to look at him as manager of the year. And they might be a last place team. But if we win 70 games, just 70, just 30 more. Wow. There's 152, 53 games. Yeah. I don't know if they can maintain. If we win, I'm telling you, if we win, I don't know about 70. That'll be tough. Of the 53 games we have left, to win 30, damn. But they're on their pace. After the All-Star break, they're on that pace. If they win 25 and they win 65 games, that'll be a 20-plus improvement in wins. 20-plus. Rick says that shit ain't going to happen. What's not going to happen? Them winning 20 games or 30 games? King Booker World said, I said they would have won 50 games, so I'm really surprised. They surprised a lot of us, King Booker World. They surprised a lot of us. Michelle said, I'm hoping the Sox is 70 as well. I mean, you can keep winning 2 out of 3. You're going to get to 70. Next to 70 wins. Shawn hit the weed dispensary this morning. LOL FGB. Listen, that is the realm. That is in the realm of possibility. So what if they end up winning 68 games? What if they win 68? Yeah, it's not 70, but that's a hell of a turnaround. Okay. 60 to 70 would be amazing. I concur. 121 games they lost last year. Unbelievable. That means 41 wins. So go from 40. That's why if you can get to 70. So if we go to 41 to 70, that 30-game increase, 29-game increase is insane. And Will Venable would have to be in the conversation for manager of the year. But they're on the right track. All right, they're on the right track, and this team is too young and too dumb to realize that they shouldn't be winning like this. But here's what happens. Here's what happens when you hold people accountable, Will Venable. When you hold your players accountable and you demand that they play all 27, you demand that they run to first, you demand they go first to third, you demand that they hit the cutoff man. All this is because of you, Will Venable. You've set the culture. And yes, you might not have the most talented team in the world, but you have a fundamentally sound team. All right, it fell apart in the Cubs series, especially that game on Sunday, the last game. But you've been fundamentally sound for the most part. And it's boring. But guess what? It's effective. It's effective. You got these guys ready to run through a wall for you. You got these guys ready to all 27 out. They'll play to their last strike. And that is something that I applaud. We as Sox fans applaud that. Because you're never out of a game. ever. You know it, the fans know it, and more importantly, the players believe it, that they're never out of a game. They believe it. Oh, we're only down 2 in the 8th? We're straight. A bloop and a blast, and we're tied. You know what I mean? Like this, that's the thing. The belief that they have in themselves is huge. Moving on to the next topic, we want to talk with the Bears. Yeah, baby. Things are looking up, baby. The Bears continue with training camp. Caleb Williams and Luther Burden had big days yesterday. It was kind of a breakout day for Luther Burden. And a couple of nice catches. He is proving that he is going to be – Luther Burden is going to be a Mickey-Ficky problem for people. He's going to be a Mickey-Ficky problem for people. This wide receiving core is potent. Potent. Telling you, this I'm hoping Caleb gets the rhythm. And I don't anticipate, like, I still think I agree with Dan Orlovsky. It's going to take a couple of years. But that's to master this offense. I don't expect Caleb to master this offense. I just want him to be very efficient in this offense and then get next year and better the year after. So I'm not asking Caleb to master this offense. I'm asking him to understand and grasp it. If you can grasp it, remember, look who he has to throw the ball to. DJ Moore, stud. Rome Odunze, burgeoning stud. Luther Burden, burgeoning stud. Cole Kmet, extremely reliable. Colston Loveland, we're going to find out. DeAndre Swift, electric when he gets the ball in his hands. So Caleb doesn't have to master this offense yet. No, not at all. Just be aware of where your playmakers are and get them the ball. Be aware of where they're at and get them the ball. If you do that, I tell you. And then you can start working on mastery next year. Michonne Wall says Luther Burden III will be a future superstar. He has that potential, Michonne. He has that potential. Here's another one. Olamide Zacharias Zacatecas. It's going to be a young sung hero of this team. I'm telling you, he's another one. He's going to push Luther Burden. Rick Gonzalez says Loveland's going to be a baller as well. Then we can get rid of the almighty FGB, FCK. Russell, let me tell you something. Russell says Tyson looked better than Caleb in practice yesterday. Let me tell you something. Let's not forget. People are forgetting. Everyone's worried about Caleb and how Caleb develops, and Caleb understands it. Tyson Bagent is gaining a lot of valuable coaching with Ben Johnson as well. I'm going to tell you, if Caleb goes down and Tyson goes in, I will not be concerned. Tyson's a much better passer. Look, you saw how crazy he did? 400 passes a year? This kid can sling the rock. And now you got him in structure? If Caleb went down, I'm not going to, oh, wow, the season's over, blah, 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 blah. I feel more than comfortable with Tyson Bagent going in. I'm not wishing anything bad to Caleb. No, not by any stretch. But I'm saying if it does, the NFL is a rough league. I feel confident with Tyson going in as the backup. Oh, Rick, you don't like FCK? You don't like Cole Kmet? All right, okay. And let's finish up the last top of the morning topic, the Chicago Sky. They host the Golden State. You know what's funny is that it just auto-corrected and auto-added that. That's funny. I put the Golden State Warriors Valkyries as I just type it. When I hit Golden State, I press spacebar. It just had added Warriors instead of Valkyries. And I typed in Valkyries. The Chicago Sky hosts the Golden State Valkyries tonight at Wintrust Arena. Tip-off is at 6 o'clock Central. You can catch that game on Ion TV. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome my mans and them. Glynn Morgan, Bears analyst. I'll have some questions for him. Ask him his concerns as training camp rolls on. But Bear talk, and I'm fired up about it, man. Whew. And watching that game last night, man, 34-7, Chargers, Lions. I was just excited to watch NFL football. I didn't care if it was second string, third string, sixth string guys who ain't even going to sniff an active roster. I didn't care. It's good to have football back. Got me all excited. The hair on my arms were standing up and shit while I was watching it. But anyway, let's take a quick break. On the other side, my man Glynn Morgan. We got Bears talk. Keep it locked right here. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings. I have my dogs. They're the best. I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
It's a romance sport. What? It's a romance sport like that.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. Every day, no matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Everybody in a work zone is someone somebody.
This is my mom. She works for KDOT.
This is my dad.
This is my mom.
This is my daddy.
This is my sister.
This is my daddy.
This is my son, Scott. He was killed while working in a highway work zone. When you drive through a work zone, drive like a life depends on it. Because it does.
Powerful running backs and offensive line.
Snap issues again. Lance falls on it. So Zion Johnson, starting guard who's never played center, is in there at center here in the league, makes the play in the open field. Chargers going to go for it on 4th and 2. And it's Lance throwing on top, touchdown. Brought in by Ford, who's now with the Rams. Out of the hands of Allen. Busy for Reynolds through the traffic.
Couple little touches here and there, but we're not changing much.
Allen throws, underthrown, undercut, intercepted, back the other way. Nico Reed, who continues his good summer. Reed inside the 10 to the 5. Inside the run with Vidal to the goal line, second effort, in for the touchdown.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC. That was the Hall of Fame game yesterday from Canton, Ohio. The Chargers with an ass whooping. And no one cares. Really don't. 34-7 over the Detroit Lions. So do me a favor, don't say, oh, Detroit's going to suck. They got their ass kicked. It's preseason. I don't even know if everyone went to Canton. If I said, just stay at home. Jared Goff, just stay at home. We don't want you getting upset, any turbulence in the airplane, nothing. Just it's preseason, didn't matter, doesn't matter. Yeah, just stop. My man, my guest today, I'm fired up to have him on. Good friend of the program, Chicago Bears analyst. I'm going to talk all things Bears. You can find him on Twitter at True Glynn Morgan. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Glynn Morgan. Glynn, what's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning.
Hey, what's up, man? Good morning, bro. How you feel?
I'm good. A little tired. That workout kicked my butt today. My legs are dead.
Workout. What's you gotta explain it. You always use that word. It's like a different language. Workout.
Yeah, so it's this thing that you do that you exercise, and that's where you get up and you just do different movements and stuff. Sometimes with weights, to kind of get you in better shape, help you lose weight, help internally, like high blood pressure and fight diabetes. All that it's cool. You should try it one time.
Yeah, I don't know, but hey, look, I just had a checkup yesterday, bro. 124/80. I don't know what you're doing, but what I'm doing seems to be working. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Other than that, though, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Good.
I'm excited. I'm fired up that camp has started. All right. Yesterday we had the Hall of Fame game, so we had actual football. I know it was 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th stringers. I didn't give a shit. It was NFL football. It got me excited. The hair on my arms was standing up. Give me your thoughts on on just football being back with the NFL Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, back when I was a young buck, this is like a century ago, literally, like last century. I enjoy. I look forward to Hall of Fame game. It brought back all the expectations of what a new season was going to be about. The downside was school was right around the corner. Lights were coming on sooner, so I had to be in sooner during the summertime. But it was football, so I was happy. Now that I'm old and grizzled and got all this gray, the Hall of Fame game, I'm like, okay, it's time to start focusing, getting back into all my research and all these kind of things. I don't care about it because the NFL cares less about it. Maybe about 7-8 years ago, it just seemed like the main guys. It used to be you would play a quarter, or maybe the starters might play half a quarter, or 3/4 of a quarter, whatever. Second week they would play 2 quarters, maybe at half. Third week, they're playing into the second half, third quarter, halfway through, whatever. Fourth week, you understood everyone else is trying to make the team. The starters don't play. Okay, so they stopped doing that, and they took away a game. And then you started seeing here in Chicago where your starters, even your quarterback, Trubisky, wasn't playing at all. And it's just like, well, is this important? But then you saw other players, guys like Brady, who you knew were going to Hall of Fame. They took it very seriously. So I've become indifferent when it comes to the preseason. There are things about it that I'm looking toward in terms of what, here in Chicago, our players, especially the new players, will be like, how they be integrated into whatever schemes, and the rest of the NFL as well. But I don't have the same enthusiasm for it because it seems like a lot of bullshit. It just is. I mean, yeah, you get to see some of the players, but it's just like, I'm like, okay, I want to get to the games that mean something. And so to me, it's kind of like it's in the way of the regular season. So
okay,
I'm more for like get to the regular season. I'm indifferent about the preseason. I get it. I understand. There's more stuff on TV to watch. I get that. But man, I got my shows. I got Gangs of London, I got other shows I can watch. If you haven't watched that one, folks, check it out. It's a great show. So I can entertain myself with better entertainment than the preseason time. I'll get more pumped. And I say that right now because this is August 1st. Now, you talk to me August 18th, I'm like, oh, man, dude, okay. I'm going to be more energized. Plus, college football, those games, when they hit the ground,
yeah.
Right. When it hit the ground, which I think is the 23rd or 24th this year, when they hit the, although some of those games are considered preseason type games, you still get some top matchups. I mean, it hits the ground running, and the games count. Even if they may be against some poo butt team, it still counts. And so I'm more energized probably, after August 15th, August 20th. Right now, I'm like, yeah, okay, that was nice, cool way. Woo.
Your thoughts on a lot of the reports coming out of camp? Caleb is struggling. He's having a tough time picking the offense. He got kicked off the field by Ben Johnson early on. Give me your thoughts on a lot of this stuff that you're hearing from, unfortunately, my colleagues, the media.
I'm going to go Shakespeare here. It's much to do about nothing. That if you guys don't know, that's one of Shakespeare's plays. Much to do about nothing. I say that tongue in cheek. Of course, it means a little something, but this early, it is much to do about nothing. It's everyone's learning. I mean, literally everyone is learning right now. The coaches are learning who the players are and what they can do. The players are learning what the coaches want them to do and how to do it. They have to divest themselves. The players who were here last year and previous years, have to divest themselves of whatever they learned, in terms of, whether it's psychologically or whether it's muscle memory, all the things that they did that the other guys had them doing. You've got to unlearn that and learn what these new guys want you to do. They're going to be bumps. It's not linear. It's going to be a roller coaster. It's going to be one of them crazy ass roller coasters. Not the ones that go up and down, but the ones that go around, loop. Got you hanging upside down, you're screaming, and that's Ben Johnson. Sometimes he's screaming because shit's upside down. But then there goes times where it's going to do a nice loop. It's going to come under. It's going to do like a little corkscrew. You'll be like, oh, that was badass. And that's going to be some great catches. That's going to be some great interceptions. Great tackle, whatever. It is literally the sounds of summer when it comes to football. It's the same stuff we hear every single year. I don't care what training camp you go to, Bears, Jaguars. I don't care if you go to the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Giants, or the Jets. You're going to hear the same talk, up and downs. This was good. This was bad. We're worried about this. I don't know what this is going to be like. And again, we won't know. We won't know after the first preseason week. We won't know after the second preseason week. And we'll be more head scratching after the third because we don't really know what it is we're going to see. We won't really know. Brace yourself. We won't really know until the last week of September, first week of October. That's when we'll know. No one knew the Washington Commanders were going to be what they were. Everyone thought the Bears were going to be what they weren't. You won't know until the last week of September, the first week of October. That's when you'll have an idea, and you'll have a better grasp of who these teams are. And here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, everybody. These teams won't know themselves until around that time. They'll have a better grasp of who they are and what their identity is. Now, there are going to be some teams, obviously, Eagles pretty much know who they are. The Chiefs pretty much know who they are.
Yeah.
And that's why they're at where they're at, and that's why they had the sustainability that they've had. The Ravens know who they are. The Bills know who they are. That kind of stuff. But then everybody else is still figuring out tweaks here, and other teams that have no effing clue. Those are the teams with new coaching regimes. Those are the teams with new quarterbacks, young quarterbacks being the new quarterbacks. Those are the teams that have the more obvious question marks because of, the newness to everything. And the Bears fall into that category. Defensively, not so much. Yeah, it's a new defensive head coach, but he's a veteran. He's if he's not a Hall of Fame kind of defensive coach, he has the ability to be a Hall of Fame defensive coach as a coordinator. He has that ability. The defense, the talent, it's pretty much there. It's a matter of health at that point and making sure everyone understands, what their job is. But that's not an issue. And here in Chicago, we know that. The offense is the main concern. There's a lot of new pieces. As a head coach with his offensive scheme in place, a lot of new coaches, and there's a lot of accountability that these guys never faced before. So that's where we're at. We're one of those teams right now where we're not going to know who we are. Ben Johnson will tell you he doesn't know who we are identity-wise. They got to figure it out. He being Ben Johnson, has what he wants to do in his mind, his concept. This is what worked, with me in Detroit. This is what worked in other places where I was at. But you've got to tailor that to your talent. Good coaches do that. If you try to force fit it to be what you want it to be, that's where you're going to run into problems. I think Ben Johnson is an adept enough coach. He's a young enough coach that he shouldn't necessarily be locked in. Sometimes with the young coaches, they're too myopic. They're too focused on, this is what I need to do. I want to do it my way. And they're trying to prove themselves. You got to be mindful of that. He'll fall into some of those traps as long as those aren't bear traps and those just little, twigs that he might, he snaps and, missteps here and there. That's fine. But yeah, for the most part, man, it's going to be a figuring out kind of thing. And Caleb is still figuring out who he is as a professional.
Yeah.
Yes, he's still stuck a little bit with, this is who I've always been, high school, college, this is how I've been successful. And you have to maintain who you are, but he's still having to figure out who he is as a professional. And that's where we're at right now. And those are the stories that we're going to keep seeing. It's going to be a lot of the same.
The one thing he has to do is he has to evolve. We all have to evolve.
Sure.
Right, in life, but he's got to evolve and understand that he can still do those crazy off-platform plays, just not as much. And when people talk about, well, you mentioned the after 4 weeks. Talk to me about the bye. The bye comes literally after 4 weeks. Are you happy with it where it's at? Would you like it later? Talk to me about this first bye coming up after the Raiders game after week 4.
I always like it a little bit later, somewhere between weeks 9 and 12, just because what the players go through physically. I like it to be able to kind of take a second breath and be able to be re-energized for the latter part. But I'll say this, in regards to where and who the Bears are now and who they're becoming, I don't mind it being early because it helps you reset sooner and it helps you reset before things get way off track. I think for a more veteran team, say, a team that is a playoff contender, Super Bowl contender, having it mid-late is way better for them because they know they're going to be, they're going to need each other. They're going to need their help down the stretch. The Bears, we don't know if we're going to be that team or not. It could be, it may not be, but if we are that team, if we are that playoff contender down the stretch, I think it'll be because we had such an early bye week where we're able to reset. I think after after the first 4 games, the Bears could, very easily be 2-2. We want to be 4-0, of course. Who doesn't? 3-1, likely. 1-3 is likely too, because as we don't know who we are, we don't quite know what the other teams are either because they're figuring themselves out too. And there's some new faces and new spaces. And that can make a difference. Geno Smith with the Raiders could make a differse. The head coach, being there can make a difference. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. Yeah, Pete Carroll, Super Bowl winning coach. He's one of the few coaches with a national championship and a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you can't sneeze at that. And along with their draft picks and what have you. So yeah, Detroit. Minnesota. Everyone talks about the fact that they don't know who J.J. McCarthy is going to be. Yeah, as a professional, we don't know. And that he and Caleb are kind of entering. And I'm like, nah, actually, he has a bit of a heads up more than Caleb does, if you really think about it. He's been in that system for 2 years. This is his second year understanding the system. He's seen it play out before him. He actually got a chance to play some in it before he was injured. Play against some live action. I know it's preseason, but he still got to play against some live bodies. And by that, he got to see what timing looks like with some of his receivers out there on the field. So, yeah, I mean, we don't know. In Minnesota, outside of the quarterback, there really isn't a discernible weakness on that team. So yeah, we got, first game of the season. I'm glad it's here, but we got our hands full, and Minnesota's going to have their hands full too. We're not going to be. I don't think the Bears will be an easy out at all. I think the entire season. So with that being said, week 5 having a bye allows the Bears to reset. I think this coaching staff is accountable enough. They are with the players. Clearly, we're seeing that during training camp. I think the coaches will be accountable with themselves and be able to assess themselves honestly and candidly with the players. And I think you'll see, if we are 2-2, I think you'll see a much more confident team coming out. If we're 1-3, I think you'll see a more determined team and less mistakes. If we're 3-1, I'm a little concerned actually, because 3-1 makes you think everything's okay. You don't necessarily address the problems as quickly because it's like, oh no, we're fine. So 2-2, I'd like to see that, because then I think that gives us enough cause for pause, but also enough to be able to say, oh, these are the problems that we're having. We can address these and then go forward. And because we are such a young team, I think the health factor, you never know, obviously, but with younger teams, the health factors tend not to be as don't crop up as much as it will maybe a more veteran-laden team.
I agree with you completely. I was really shocked that you went down that route. I agree that after 4 weeks, you can kind of see and redirect the course, and say, okay, this works, that works, that doesn't work. Let's scrap that. I think the earlier the better, and then now you're on the right path. I also would love, ideally after week 8, 9, or 10, give me the bye.
Yeah.
All right, but because of exactly what you said, you and I are in lockstep, man. I love it early. Change what you need to change, and now just go on a roll. And I think they have that capability. Talk to me about the offensive line. Okay, we got there's three signings, center and 2 guards, but there's still the issue at left tackle.
Yeah, it is.
Your thoughts?
You said it. There's still the issue at left tackle. If you got 3, you don't have 1. I think I'll say this: the upside, once we get to November, I don't think that'll be a problem. I think it'll be established, figured out, arguably, but I think it'll be established. And by established, I mean who we're going to go with, who's the person, and then go from there. I think it'll be established. I think right now it's an issue because you got the health of Braxton still. Amagaji's still, learning, as well as Trapello. So those are the young guys out there. I'd like the athleticism on all 3 of them and the size on 2 of the 3. There's a lot of positives about their physical attributes and what they offer as athletes. The issue is technique, ability, understanding, and doing it quick enough in sync with the rest of the guys on the offensive line so that Caleb isn't being a jackrabbit. I think it'll be an issue early on. I think Caleb is still going to jackrabbit from time to time. I don't think he has complete trust just yet. He'll say all the right things. I know he means well. His play will dictate. Regardless of what he says, it'll dictate. I think there are times when you see them being abused by their own teammates, it's like that's a good thing. We got good defensive line that's going to challenge them so they can get better. But it's a concern because it's the weakest link right now, and whatever your weakest link, it diffuses the effectiveness of the other guys on the offensive line.
Right.
So it's an issue now. Again, it's August 1st. It's an issue now. Obviously, someone will have to start there. I think, again, it'll be less of an issue. I think it'll be more established once we get to right around Halloween, early November, Halloween. I think it'll be established at that point. But as goes our left tackle, i.e. pass blocking, as goes our running game, so will go the Bears offense. And when that happens, all the weapons that we just are waiting to just see explode, whether it's Colson, Kmet, whether it's a 12 package with them, or whether it's DJ and Odunze on the outside, whether it's Luther Burden, recently resurgent appearing Luther Burden being used all over the field, and Swift and all these guys getting the balls in their hand and doing things with it. That's when, as Bear fans, we're going to maybe be able to have the same exhilaration we saw Washington fans have last season, or the Texans fans have the year before that, or the Lions fans have 2 years before that. You know, all those things that, and it's tough because as Bear fans, you know, we've been waiting for a long time. And as Bear fans, more than a half a century, I'm waiting to see some type of explosive offense. I can't tell you what grates me more than knowing that these mofos to the north of us, these cheeseheads, have had explosive offenses in the frozen tundra. Like, you never thought that they would have explosive passing offenses in the frozen tundra. And they've had it for better than, 3 decades. It's like, why can't we do that here? Like, oh, you got to run the ball in Chicago. It's Bear weather. Dude, Green Bay, it's just bad, if not worse. It's the frozen tundra, for Christ's sakes. Frozen tundra. And they're passing all over the place. So yeah, as a long-suffering, and this, when I say suffering, I mean in terms of offensively, outside of the running backs that I grew up with, Walter, RIP, outside of the running backs, it's been few and far between. We've had, it's an oxymoron to say Bears an explosive offense. I'll just say that. It just the two
those two don't go together.
They don't go together, but they can. And if you can do that in Green Bay, I remember, and real tangent, I'll come back. I remember when Purdue, University of Purdue, or Purdue University, football, right around when Breeze got there. I can't remember the coach's name. He came from Wyoming, where he had a wide open offense in passing.
Tepper?
And say again?
Was it Tepper?
Yes, Tepper. And it was like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work in the Big Ten. It's not going to work in Indiana. It worked. It took a bit, but it worked. And so if it can work, it being an explosive, wide open, passing type kind of offense, I'm not saying, eschew the run, still run the ball. But if you can have explosive offenses in cold weather situations, and you've seen it work in places that you thought you might never, whether it be Green Bay or Purdue University, as I mentioned, there's really no reason why it can't work here, dome or no dome.
Well, Glenn and guys, we're joined by Glynn Morgan, Bears analyst, talking Bears football here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. When people talk about the air and air attack, it doesn't have to go. We don't have to throw bombs. All right, we got yak monsters. We have people who can make it happen after the catch, and I think that's the thing that Caleb is going to have to learn. Get it to them quickly. Because Jameson Williams only had like 70 catches, 60 catches last year. Still had 10 yards because he's a home run hitter. And not all of his passes were deep down the field. You get them, and you got guys. Luther Burden led the league in yards after catch, the NCAA in yards after catch last year. Exactly what we need. Yeah. Roman Dunze led the NCAA in receiving total yards the year before. And then we got DJ Moore. We got guys who can make things happen after the catch.
Yes.
And that, don't worry about, even if it's inclement weather, bare weather, cold weather, that is priceless. And I'm looking forward to that because I cannot wait to see someone take a slant 60 yards.
Yeah. And to your point, you're right. 100% right. And 1,000% right. And to your point, that's where right now Tyson probably looks better than Caleb, because Tyson's always been a guy who's been better at playing in structure. Tyson doesn't have the biggest arm. He just won't. It is what it is. He's got a decent arm. It's a big reason why he wasn't drafted. He doesn't have a big arm. Again, I'm gonna go tangent because that's what I do. I was out in Maryland this past weekend over the DC area watching some tennis, and I got to see Ben Shelton play against Tiafoe. And there's a difference between 141 mile per hour, 144 mile per hour serve, and 131 mile per hour serve. Is a visible difference. And the same can be said when it comes to passing the ball. There's a reason why Josh Allen, as lower percentage his passing completion was in college, was taken as high as he was, because that arm tells you he can chuck it. It's different. It's a difference maker.
Yep.
So Tyson has to win with playing in structure, with being accurate. And that's to your point, where when you get the ball into the hands of these guys and you get it out of your hands into their hands more quickly, these guys can create the yards after the catch. And that's where you'll see this offense in times really explode, so to speak, and thrive. Same thing with Jared Goff. I mean, the play action bought him a little time, but he's a quick decision maker. He gets the ball at his hand. He's got a good arm, but in a dome, he's even much better with passing, with good pass blocking and a good running game. He's a dangerous quarterback. We saw that when he with the Rams. We saw that with the Rams. You know, once he got there and they took off, they went to Super Bowl. You know, I remember the showdown. I'll never forget that showdown he and Mahomes had. You know, they both, I think, threw for close to 1,000 yards, between 900 and 1,000 yards on the ground or whatever. It was a crazy Monday, Thursday night game, whatever it was. So all that to say that Tyson wins right now because he is more accurate, plays in structure. He's confident with that. That's his game. Caleb has to learn how to do that. And then all the other things that make him exceptional can be that much more dynamic on the field. And I've made this comparison before. I don't know if people, listen to me, that they probably shouldn't. I know my wife and kids don't. But I've made this point before that Caleb's trajectory should mirror in some form of fashion, with Brett Favre and Holmgren. And not just Caleb, but also Ben Johnson. Mike Holmgren, he was tearing his hair out. But once he got Brett Favre to play in structure, 3 MVPs, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, Hall of Fame career. But those first few years, Favre would do fantastic things. Get outside the pocket, he was dangerous. Make these big throws, they'd win games. He hit Sterling Sharp, and, they win a game. They pull fat out the fire, all that stuff. But then there are times where he's making bad reads, balls going behind the receiver, it's late, interception unnecessarily so, and Holmgren gives him that stare. And it's just like this. You could treat like this mother. you could just see on his face. Ben Johnson's doing that already. He's like, get off the field. It's training camp, So both Ben Johnson's / Mike's trajectory, I don't think we'll be pissed. We may not be happy this year, so to speak, but if we're happy 15 years later because the other 13 years were fantastic and, several Super Bowl appearances, and it looks like he's on a Hall of Fame career, I think we'll understand what Green Bay has understood for the last several decades.
I'm a little concerned with the defense, just a little, not too much. Give me your thoughts on them, especially that defensive line. We looks like we got a decent rotation.
Yeah.
Billings, Dexter, Grady Jarrett. We have a nice little rotation there.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't know what has me leery about them, but something does. Maybe it's the lack of the proven edge opposite Montez. Maybe it's Montez who had a really down year last year after he signed a $96 million contract. How are you feeling about this defense?
I think the defense invariably by week 1 will be fine. I think I was more concerned about how we'll be against the run. I think with a healthy Andrew Billings and Grady, I think it shores that up tremendously. I think that front 7 can help the secondary until everybody gets healthy. Jalen Johnson, I think the back end, again, just want Brisker to stay healthy as well. But I like Byard back there. We have enough veteran leadership and enough of a presence. And I think, again, although the defensive coordinator, Dennis Allen, is new, a lot of these guys have worked together as teammates. And so they have a rapport. They have a way of communicating on the field during practice, all these things where they'll be able to make adjustments more quickly, more smoothly. And they have the confidence in who they are and how they've been, that this defense and this team will have to lean heavily on them the first month and a half until the offense, starts gaining traction. Is everything 100%? No, most things usually aren't. Am I concerned about, pressure from the edge? I think I will be until I'm not. but I'm not as worried. And again, I don't need to have sacks like it seems the rest of the world needs to. I need to have pressure. I don't care where it's coming from, but it's from the outside. I like the pressure up the middle, because the pressure up the middle makes it way more difficult for quarterbacks. They can't step into their throws. They have to move around because the big bodies are in the way. They can move into sacks. It helps. It diffuses so many things. We saw the Giants win 2 Super Bowls because they had that pressure, a lot of it up the middle. It's not Brady couldn't do anything, with it. We've seen last year, just this past Super Bowl, what that pressure up the middle did to Mahomes. And Mahomes is way more athletic than Tom Brady was, and Mahomes has a bigger arm than Tom Brady. Mahomes does Mahomes things. Couldn't do that. No matter how much speed he had anywhere else, live long day. And when we've seen the Chiefs try to adjust that, what they've done in terms of trying to address that area of concern in the offseason. So when you can create pressure, sacks, to me, that's like cherry on the top. But you can create pressure. You can force turnovers. I'd much rather get a turnover than you get another shot. In today's game, a sack used to mean something. Again, I'm an old man, so a sack used to mean something in the 80s, 70s, maybe even early 90s, because you had the loss of yards and down. So now you're looking at, 2nd and 17 or 3rd and 15, and it was more difficult to complete those passes. Today's game, man, dudes go for it on 4th and 4. If it's 2nd and 19, I can get, 7 yards. Now it's 3rd and 12. That's doable in today's game. 3rd and 12. Okay, I didn't get the first down. I got 8 more yards. Now it's 4th and 4. I'm going for it. Are you kidding me? We're at the 44-yard line. Where am I 44? Why punt? So I'd much rather you create pressure, and that pressure create a mistake, i.e. a turnover. Because if you create pressure and it's incomplete pass, maybe you didn't lose the yards, but you still got the loss of down and it was an incomplete pass. And if I'm behind, the incomplete pass, the clock stops. That gives me more time to do something with my offense, whatever. And we can go on with all the scenarios down the line. But that pressure, because here's another thing. Pressure, it starts psychologically making you see ghosts sometimes. You're thinking it's there, and it's not there. And we've heard some guys say it during the game. Like, oh my God, I'm seeing ghosts out there. Or we saw Geno Smith. Oh my God. And so that makes you do things, fumble, turnover, be a fumble, interception, or what have you. So I think the pressure will come. I think the more consistent pressure will be up the middle, but I feel confident with Montez on the outside, and I'm still trying to say his name the right way. The guy we have from the Colts, Deo. Yeah. I think he is adept enough and athletic enough that even if they're not sacking, they can contain. And if you're able to contain, you can still box them in. It still gives and I like our secondary, and I like our linebackers. We have really good linebackers that are really good in pass coverage. Most teams don't have linebackers as versatile as ours. Both these guys, they're good against the run. And I think, Hippolyte, his speed is, you can't account for that. That's something that I think is going to blow a lot of people away. Long answer to a short question. I'm not concerned with the defense. I think it's just a matter of health with them, and I think they'll be fine. I look, as a lifelong Chicagoan, I look forward to watching our defense play. I always do. It's usually the best part of watching a Bears game is watching defense get after people.
Give me your thoughts on Dennis Allen saying that the number 2 cornerback position behind Jalen Johnson is up for grabs.
What did I say earlier? I don't care what training camp you go to, you're going to hear that. It's setting the challenge down. It's raising the bar. It's holding people accountable. It's lighting a fire. Any other, trite, overused cliche you want to come up with is what it does. And kudos. He's a veteran head coach. It's like such a classic veteran move. But that's not to say that he doesn't mean it.
Right.
And all that means is that, that to me, that means there's talent. There's enough talent to challenge for number 2. That's a good thing. So I look at it that way. And I think this roster, the secondary has, for the last several years, secondary has been the strength as a unit overall, a consistent unit on top of that. But yeah, that's fine. Again, to me, much to do about nothing right now, early on. If you're telling me the second spot is a concern and I'm worried that I don't have a number 2, that's a horse of a different color, So, but if anybody didn't catch that reference, that's a 1931 Wizard of Oz reference. But anyway, yeah. So that's just, yeah. I think that's coach speak, and that's fine. And they want to challenge you, and that's what you need to do. Like I was reading earlier, Dennis Johnson has an ego too. And I mean that in a good way. He's not coming there to be embarrassed. He's not trying to be, just fodder and just have bodies out there for the offense so they can get all their claim. Like, no. And I don't know him personally, and maybe never ever will. I'd imagine at some point he may still want, maybe not right now, maybe not in the next several years, he may want another shot at being a head coach. So if that's the case, you do what you need to do so you can be where you need to be.
Interesting. I don't know if he's going to get another shot because he's already been head coach twice, but
yeah, but he's young enough that he might. And hey, look, personally, I hope he goes away that my guy in Kansas City has, where he's like, I'm good. I just want to be a defensive coordinator. Spagnuolo or Fangio. I'm good. I just want to be a coordinator. And if Dennis, because Dennis is, like I said, he's not an older guy. He's not like in the 70s or anything. Like he's still like we can have a nice, good 7 to 10 year run. And if your defense is consistent, you see what I'm telling you, man, there's certain trajectories. I look at these patterns, and there are elements that the Bears have right now that can very much mirror some of the sustained successes that the Chiefs have had. And a lot of that comes for consistency and continuity, and that continuity be the key thing here. We haven't had that really since the Lovey era, and to be quite honest, even going back to probably when Ditka was here. The continuity makes a big difference, so you can be consistent, and I think, Caleb's referenced it a couple of times himself. He's like, me and Ben, we want to be here for a long time. Okay, that's great. Keep Dennis Allen too. If you don't have to change, your head, your two coordinators, and you're having success, and there's no need to, you can continue with that. And we've seen that. Currently, we're seeing that with the Chiefs. And we're seeing it to our neighbors to the north. I'm not talking about the Packers.
Oh, way up north.
Way up north. How about the Vikings?
Minnesota.
Because of how the NFL is, and because they hold a grudge, the defensive coordinator from Minnesota may never get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
And as long as he likes living in Minnesota and he's not pissed about it, and he's getting paid. And O'Connell looks like he's there to stay as long as he wants to. This guy is a quarterback whisperer. And I mean, outside of just winning, getting to the Super Bowl, they get to the playoffs. He's done it with several different quarterbacks already.
That's what gets me excited, or gives me concerned.
Yeah.
He did that with
nobody's.
Sam Darnold. He did that with Sam Darnold in Minnesota. Granted, he's got a hell of a nice little crew to throw to, but nonetheless, you still have to get it done. Mm-hmm. I think J.J. McCarthy's a better quarterback than Sam Darnold, and that's what has me worried. They got the defense. I think they're going to be the biggest issue in the NFC North. I don't think it's Green Bay. I don't think it's Detroit. I think it's Minnesota. I think Detroit, losing their two coordinators is going to have a much bigger effect than people think. Green Bay, Mr. Love loves to throw the ball to the opposing teams. So I just don't see that. Hell, if it wasn't for that extra long fingernail tip on the field goal, they would have been 0-6 in the division last year. Green Bay, 0-6.
Yeah, but that's last year.
Right. But I'm saying, and I understand things change, but I still don't. They didn't make any upgrades this offseason where I'm like, oh, shit, they ain't playing. They don't have – I'm not worried about them a lot. And Jordan Love likes to throw the ball to the opposing team all the time. That's going to be the baseline. That's the foundation of that offense. Jordan Love likes to throw the ball to the opposing team. That's my argument.
Yes. I mean, your argument, it is sound. It is sound. The only thing I would say is, let's hope that continues. Let's do what we can to make sure that continues on the field. But people do get better at throwing the ball at times, and they turn the ball over less. And that's everybody knows this. So I'm sure he's aware of it as well. So that's something I'm sure they'll be working on. And LaFleur does a really good job coaching. So if they, I won't say they're an Eagles-sized problem or a Rams-sized problem or whatever other really good teams you want to talk about in the NFC. But I'm not going to be overconfident. I mean, they're still talented. And this division, I think I might have said it last time on your show. This division, again, I look at patterns. This division mirrors to me a lot of the AFC North in terms of where they're at right now, and that means that you look at those coaches. Those coaches have been there for 5+ years. All those head coaches have been there for 5+ years. You're going to see the same happen here with this division. And all these guys are young. The Bears right now have the youngest head coach and the youngest GM in the division. But, I don't see any of those, unless those guys, those being the GMs, decide to retire, they're all going to maintain and retain their positions. And they've all had success. And so they understand what it takes for them to be successful. And everyone's success patterns are different, but they know what theirs are. They know more who they are than we do. We're figuring it out. But I think we've done a really good job at this point of getting on the right track towards that. So I see, these coaches, head coaches, and general managers, and probably some of the quarterbacks too, staying in place and growing, and this being a division that will be a very, very competitive and difficult division. And, maybe harken back to the old black and blue days back a century ago.
That would be nice. And I'm looking forward to it, man. I just don't think the other teams. I think the Bears have a legitimate shot of winning the division, and it all depend on how they do in their non-conference games or non-divisional games.
Tough schedule.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Again, I still people say tough schedule. I'm like, yeah, but we don't know who these teams are. Many teams we don't know who they are. Some we do.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Some we do.
We do, yeah.
I mean, we got we know what a Philly is. We know what a Kansas City is. We know we also know what a Dallas is. All right. I mean, we might not know exactly what the Raiders are, but the chances are Raiders are a cluster mess, dude. Why is that franchise snake? They're snake bitten like the Cowboys. The Raiders just do. They seem to put it together, and they don't. They seem to have everything together, and then it falls apart. Like what's that? That are they cursed? You know what I mean? Like I just don't get it. Like they just have you got a nice little squad. You got Geno, you got Ashton Genty. You know what I mean? Like you got some players.
You get the tight end.
The kid out of Georgia. And I'm just like Mark Andrews.
No, that's the Ravens.
Oh, okay. Who's the tight end then?
I apologize. He's got a B in his name.
Yeah. So let me look at it. The Raiders, the Commanders. I think that's a revenge game. The Ravens probably get our ass kicked.
That's what I'm saying. We're playing the AFC North. That's why I referenced them earlier. We're playing the AFC North.
Yeah.
And the Bengals, outside of their bad defense, but offensively, they're a handful. The Saints. I think we talked about it before. Like there are several games the Bears have to win. Like New Orleans, you have to win that one. The Raiders, you have to win that. Week 1, you have to win that one. The Giants, you have to win that one. The Browns, you have to win that one. The other one, I don't think the 49ers are going to be as good as people think they are. I really don't. I think they've got too many injury issues at key positions, and they don't have the depth that they used to in those areas. Wide receiver and they're as good as McCaffrey is. I know he's been in and out, but they've got issues. I think even some of their offensive line issues will be apparent enough. And I don't think defensively, we'll see what happens defensively. They might be a little bit better defensively than they have been, but they're getting a little long in the tooth defensively too, especially up front. So yeah, man. The Bears.
Brock Bowers. That's
Bowers.
Thanks, Rick. Good looking out, Bubba.
King Book will agree with you. 49ers.
Damani also, who said Brock Bowers is a Raider tight end. good looking outlook.
Yeah, I agree with King Booker Worlds. Like, the 49ers do. Like, I think it's reputation right now.
Yeah. You just gave all that money to Mr. Irrelevant and trade away. I don't know, bro. I don't know. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, they were. Was my guy? I'm out of Cal, the receiver. He got hurt last year. I don't know how healthy he'll be. Ayuk. I don't know how explosive he'll be this year, coming back off that injury. And the kid they drafted out of Florida, he's already looks like he's going to have perpetual injury issues. So, nagging injuries, but it's like, if you're out there playing, if you're not practicing timing, all that stuff. Yeah, I think and you know what, that division is a lot tougher than people realize. Arizona is probably going to be one of those teams that if you're not paying attention, they'll be 7-4. You're like, whoa.
They can sneak up on you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've got some talent on the outside, man. The receiver position, running back is deep. The offensive line's gotten a lot better. The quarterback is explosive just by himself. The defense is where they need to hone in and get better, but they're a lot more competitive than you realize. Seattle, they're an enigma to me. I'm not certain. We'll see. Having Darnold there, we'll see what kind of team. And no Metcalf, no Lockett. So I think that they'll probably fall back a little bit. But the Rams, I look for the Rams to kind of win that division. But the Cardinals are going to be a lot better than people realize. I think the 49ers, they're going to be the team, like, end of the year when you're seeing teams that are on the bubble, they'll be on the bubble with the arrow pointing down, I think.
Okay. Give me your thoughts on the Bears deciding not to go with alternative jerseys to honor Virginia McCaskey. No color rush, no alternative jerseys.
That might be the best way to honor her. And she's been around,
long time.
Long time. She's been watching more Bears games than me. You know what I'm saying? So I said half a century. She got me beat. She's about throw no 25 in there. Handily. Throw 25 plus in there. So I think honoring her with more of a traditional look is probably the best way to honor her. So yeah, I think I take that line of thought and reasoning behind it. It actually makes more sense, So no, I think, you don't have to do the razzle dazzle stuff when you're authentic, and being authentic is something that, she's authentically Chicago Bears, so I think the Bears honoring her with being just as authentic in their garb is something that it would resonate more, and probably even resonate more with their family than us, young folk in here who like all the color and the splash and the dash and the new helmet designs and what have you.
Hey, I like me too. I like that. I get it. I understand it. I hate that they're. Now I got to go one season. I want to see a color rush jersey. Like, I want to see I want to, I mean, you can still go the polar. You can do the polar bear route. You know what I mean? It's white jerseys, white pants. Just no.
I like that polar bear. It's nice.
Yeah. But you still have the blue helmet. That's the only thing. Like, I love them to be all whited out. Remember, Minnesota did that this year. Like, it was last year. They played us.
Yeah.
They had it. That looked sharp.
It did look sharp.
That looked sharp.
It did look sharp. It did look sharp. Yeah, all white with an orange C on the helmet.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be kind of sweet. I'm with you.
That'd be kind of dope. But yeah, so I'm excited, man. How
the running game is something that now if you ask me, as much as I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's a preseason, there are things I'm still interested in finding some of the answers to, and I have my curiosities in terms of like, okay, so how is this going to look and what's going on here? And Monaghan is doing exactly what I thought he would do. I thought he would impress because he does all the little things consistently well, and he's physical about how he does it. And I think Ben Johnson wants to institute some physicality on the offense, not just as a team overall, but on the offense. And I think that the running game, I'm curious to see how it'll be effective. I don't know that the explosion is there like I want it to be. I think this is where Luther Burden, I've mentioned it before, I think he helped there a little bit on the perimeter with the running game, whether it's toss sweeps or, just things out of a shotgun, him getting out on the field, or, whether it's, like a halfback draw kind of thing out of shotgun, whatever. He gives you that kind of instant offense because he's so good with the ball in his hands. And obviously Swift is still has some get up and go. But then it's the dynamism behind the running game is something that I don't know what we'll see. So with that being said, taking what you have and being resourceful with what you do have, I'm curious to see how Ben Johnson will get the running game to be effective. And effective doesn't mean you have to dominate. Effective can mean you're getting first downs when you need to. At the goal line, you're punching it through. Pass pro helping out Caleb, catching the pass in the flats when you need to. Those are things that you can do to be effective. And then the dynamism can happen. You can be more explosive maybe next season or seasons going forward. But I'm curious to see how, because like I said earlier, how effective the running game is and how well that left tackle position is fortified will show us a lot in terms of how this team can be consistent, how it can create offense, and how it can generate points. But those things have to be in place. So that's the running games were my strongest bit of what I'm looking for in preseason when it comes to the Bears. That's what I really want to see, how well that running game and how well the blocking is for the running game too. Because these guys are going to need the block. They're going to have to depend on the offensive line to create space because a lot of these guys don't have that individual ability to be able to make several people miss to get upfield.
That's why I had the issue with, not the issue, but just the question mark at left tackle, like who's going to be in there, and I know that the two guards in the center are your run game, but you're still going to have to run outside. You're still running outside zone. Until they settle that left tackle position, yeah. I'm still going to be concerned about that.
So I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I apologize. I'm laughing because sometimes if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one, and you bring one, like you bring in Justin in Pittsburgh for a certain package. Okay, chances are they're running the ball. So I'm wondering if our left tackles, it's like, okay, well, Braxton's in there, they're running the ball. If Trapill's in there, they're probably passing. So I wonder, do we see, in certain packages, do we see in certain situations a switch at left tackle? Now I know it messes with the timing and continuity, so that probably won't happen. But I wonder if we see some of those kind of experiments to get a better grasp of it during preseason, because here's the thing we know about Braxton: he's really good in run blocking. One of the better left tackles, really, in the league when it comes to run blocking. He's horrible when it comes to being bull rushed. Trapillo, he's got the size, so you think he should be good in run blocking, but he seems to be pretty adept because of his size and his length that he may be better at pass pro than we expect. Maybe run blocking, maybe he doesn't get upfield quick enough. Amengazi seems to be, the three bears. One's hot, one's cold, one's just right. Amengazi athletically seems to be perfectly suited to do both. He's got the length. He's got the length to be good in pass pro. He's got the athleticism to get upfield and be a good run blocker. But can he do it? So it's a head scratcher. And that's why I say you got three, you don't have one right now. You need to find the best version of best combination to be able to do those two things in that one person, and good luck with that. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, to me, the run game is going to be the key. It's going to open up so many doors, going to open up so many windows for Caleb. And the one thing before I let you go, the one thing that I said was I want to get out to camp. And I want to see how he's doing the little things. And the little things to me are ball fake. I want to see him put the ball in the belly of the running back. All right. I really want to see him focus on that. All right. Peyton Manning was a master at it. It's going to help Caleb. One, it helps the run game. But two, it's going to help Caleb big time. And I hope he does that and understands how that's going to help him. And then I hope Ben Johnson is on his ass to say, hey, listen, you want some cleaner, some bigger windows, you better make sure you play fake much better. And if he does that, if I see that in Caleb, then I will be cemented in knowing that he's really, really doing he really, really wants to be great.
Okay. Granted. So let me ask you this: when do you think that's actually going to happen in real life? I'm talking in real game. Is that going to happen week 1?
What do you mean?
Is Caleb going to have that down to the ability to be as effective as you just mentioned he needs to be to have the success? Is that going to be week 1?
No.
And I'm not knocking Caleb. Please, everyone, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not being negative. I'm not knocking it. I'm a pragmatic person, and I don't try to fool I hate window shopping, because if I window shop and I can't get it, what the fuck am I looking at it for? Okay, it's like I'm pragmatic. If I can get it, I'll get it. If I can't, I don't even need to pay attention to it. So right now, what I'm saying is, pragmatically speaking, and like I said before, it's not going to be linear. It's going to be up and down. Those little things, handing the ball off. You mentioned, I totally didn't think about that, but you're right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he still has to learn how to, play with his back to the field. He still has to learn how to hand the ball off the right way. He just not to pivot. All those things, so he's not thinking about it. That's going to take time, and it's just, I don't want people to get frustrated because their expectations are so high. And when we're here in Chicago, we're in such an echo chamber at times. We think that the rest of the world doesn't matter. It's what we do here matters. And because we got all this talent, we got a new head coach, we're going to be fired. Dude, we get ourselves so worked up, we start foaming at the mouth, and we're like, oh man, this is going to be great. And then we get on our little Madden game and like, dude, I can do all this. And I'm killing all these things. I'm clowning up. All these things, like, dude, that ain't real life. Real life, there's going to be growing pains, and we're going to have them. And that's what we said earlier when you talked about the schedule, and you and I both agree having that break early can help them reset. Like, okay, these are all the things you're doing well. This is where you need to clean up. Make sure your foot is facing this way. Make sure you drop step this way, or you angle this way. You don't want to give it away all these little things. I'm hoping this coaching staff not only pays attention to, but holds the players accountable. Not just Caleb, but everybody. It comes with the blocking, it comes with the receivers running the right routes, getting the right depth. That comes with the defensive guys being able to make the adjustments they need to do, how they can, I think they can do more advanced stuff because they've worked well together, but you still have to be able to do all the fundamental, all the little things consistently and do them consistently well. So with that, with Caleb and those nuances, it's going to take some time. So everybody, don't get frustrated, if we're 2-2 or even if we're 1-3, be pissed off if we're 0-4, but don't let it get to you. And if this season turns out to be a 9-8 season, that's actually a lot more of a launching point going forward than I think the record shows. If we're 8-9, I still feel the same way. If we're 5-12 again, it's a GD moment. Like, what a WTF moment, GD moment, whatever. If we're 12-5, relax, enjoy, but realize it's a possibility that there may be a fallback the following year to whatever. Sometimes we get out over our skis. That happened with us earlier with Trubisky that year. We got over our skis.
2018.
Yeah, that was a lame schedule. And the defense was exceptional and all those things. But we got over our skis, and then the following year, our expectations, and it just went. So I think we're on the right trajectory here. I think with our schedule, that should keep us. I think because of our schedule, what we see with this team record-wise, I think will be more true indication of how this team is. I think they'll parallel one another. If we're 9-8, then we're a 9-8 team. If we're 7-10. Then that's where we're at. But hopefully it's with the arrow going up a little bit, and some things we'll see later in the season. And if we're 11-6, then we're a lot better than what I thought right now. But yeah, man, it should be interesting. My enthusiasm will match yours probably, like I say, the third week in August.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm fired up. Anytime football's here. Woo, Charlie.
No doubt.
I love it. Hey, Glenn, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it as always. Do me a favor though, let everybody know we can find you online.
Hey, as you mentioned before, you can find me out there, the Twitter /Xverse at Real Glynn Morgan at True Glynn Morgan, and from time to time on platforms such as yours. And once my partners and I get off our hiatus, that's Easy Smoke in the Gym with our podcast. We'll be bringing that back out. We hibernate like the Bears in the summertime. Except the winter, we do it in the summertime. But we're getting ready to get back up and get back at it.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate it. You have a good one, right, Papa?
Thanks, man. You too, bro. Appreciate you as always. Peace.
I know.
Thanks, Chad.
Guys, that's Glynn Morgan, Bears analyst. got me fired up, man. I'm excited. This Bears season is going to be fun. It's going to be one to watch. Remember, keep your feet where you're at, or be where your feet are at. All right. We know what's coming in 26 and 27, but right now let's watch the development of this team. Let's watch this team, and they can surprise a lot of people. They can. You know, I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl, but they can surprise people, get to the division round. And if by some reason some quarterback gets hurt, you know, another star player, another team gets hurt, they get to the NFC Championship game, all bets are off. Okay? But let's be realistic. Let's not expect them to go to the Super Bowl. Let's expect. Here's what you want. You want to see them get better. You want to see them improve. When you watch them from week 1 to the bye, and from the bye to week like 10 or 11, note how well they're playing. You should see a marked improvement from week 1 to week 4, or week 5, week 6 after the bye, and notice a marked improvement from week 6 to week 10 after week 10. So yeah, I've seen the growth. That's, to me, truth be told, I'm not worried about the record. If I see that noticeable growth, you know how I feel. You know what I'm saying. I said, I can't wait till 2026. My feet are here in 2025, but I understand what's coming. And I want to see that growth. I want to see the light go on with this team. When they get it and they start to click. And it will. It will. Not that Caleb's going to master this offense this year, because he won't. He's going to have a much better grasp of it and be able to operate it efficiently. I'll take the efficient part now, improve next year, and 27 he should have this thing down. And I know you don't want to hear. I know Rick's like, I don't want to hear 25, 26, 27. That's what it takes, man. It doesn't. Even if he gets the hang of it, to understand the nuances of it, it's going to take a couple years. Doesn't mean he can't understand the concept and how to run it efficiently now. That's what I need to do. That's what I want him to be, and he has that ability. So, hey guys, 2 hours is coming and going. I want to thank my man Glynn Morgan for coming out and talking Bears with us. Great stuff as always. I'm fired up, man. It's gonna be nice and cool this weekend. We had football yesterday. We got some college football coming up in a couple weeks. The Bears are playing a week from Sunday. Man, stuff is moving. Football season is here. And listen. I know it signals the end of summertime shy. All right, because you know me, I love me some summertime shy. But it's okay. Do yourself a favor. Let your loved ones know you love them, because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right, it's going to be cool this weekend. Hit the Fiesta del Sol. All right, lunch, brunch, breakfast, dinner, drinks, happy hour. Just go to the Fiesta del Sol. Meet your people up there. Walk around, get some good Mexican food. You got tons of drinks, tons of DJs, tons of musical acts. A good chance it's not going to be too hot. Okay, it's not going to be too hot. You can chill. Okay, make memories. Make memories with your people. Make memories with your family, friends. And I'm telling you, summertime shy is awesome. Well, listen, I'm going to replay this at 6. Also, at 12:15, Second City Sports with Sydney and Lakina are going to join you for another 2-hour tour of Chicago sports. All right, the Smoke Fellows will have a rerun tomorrow. They'll be back in September. But yeah. So, guys, you have a phenomenal week. I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. And I too, will have a phenomenal weekend. I got to be at a boat party tomorrow for my cousin. She just rented out a boat. So we're going to be doing that. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Sunday, I'll probably be, or maybe at the Fiesta del Sol. Oh, my bad, Damani. August 30th is when the Smoke Fellows are coming back. August 30th, when they'll be back. King Booker World, you're a damn fool. He goes, if I see any of y'all Packer fans, chancla. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's Mama Slipper. And Mama Spanish mouths always throw at you. They had amazingly accurate, amazing accuracy with that. So, guys, you have a phenomenal weekend. I'm trying to see if we can get this link up for Sports Zone Chicago swag. All right, again, this will be one of the shirts on there. You saw I wore the blue one the other day. I had the FGB shirt last Friday. We got some other cool stuff, man. We got some really, really cool stuff that you're going to like. All right? So from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. Have a phenomenal weekend. Get out there. Enjoy Summertime Shy, because Lord knows, you know, I will. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, your boy, the SuperBack, I am out.
Come on, race the race. Get ready for the top and an S in the drop.